Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. Now, the content that I'm going to show you right now is the big breaking news. Kamala Harris brought out her big economic plan, and CNN quickly lines up to call it communist. Okay, maybe not exactly the same words, but they sure made allusions to it. Everything I'm going to show you is linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and we will spread freedom to and fro across this amazing land. And with that said, let's jump right into it because anytime that CNN has a problem with a Democratic candidate calling them a little bit like Venezuelan and Argentinian and Soviet communist, it's going to be a thing we're going to cover. And you know what else is communist? Red flag laws, putting people in prison for defending themselves. That's why we got USCCA. There's a link right down there in the description box below. But imagine you're at home, you're defending your family, and all of a sudden you get a knock on the door. The police say you can't have your guns because some anti gun blue hair neighbor said, I don't feel comfortable. He might be a threat. Red flag has been issued. You don't get to face your accuser. You have no rights. You have been presumed guilty, and now you have to prove your innocence in a court that already deemed you guilty without you knowing about it. That's why we've got the USCCA red flag law coverage. There's a link in the description box below, and please at least check it out so you know all your options. But let's get to this because this right here, people, everything that we cover from a standpoint of the Harris Walls campaign is going to be aimed at highlighting the issues because if they were to get in, our gun rights are on the chopping block. They've said it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They've done it in the past. This is a very big issue. Now, what I want to show you here is what CNN's response was to her big economic policies. Things like price gouge ceilings and prescription drug caps and basically command and control over the economy, which command and control economies, those sound very familiar. Yep, communist. Just saying. All right, let me get into this. I'm going to break this up into two clips, but this is something you've got to see and send this out because this right here, this doesn't happen often. Check this out from CNN Economist.
I read your piece and I heard you just mention it. The federal ban on price gouging for groceries. You are skeptical of this. Why?
Well, first of all, nobody can explain what price gouging means. It's like that old line about pornography. I know it when I see it, in the sense that what does it mean to have an excessive price or an excessive profit margin? That seems to be shorthand for a price or a profit margin that bugs me. That seems too high. So, it's very hard to pin down what this would actually mean. If you look at the legislation that, as I mentioned, is already in the Senate, led by Senate Warren and Senator Bob Casey and a slew of others, the particular way that this is written, which is likely to be the template for any proposal that Harris would eventually embrace, is especially bad in that it just bans excessive prices, grossly excessive prices, grossly excessive profit margins, and says that the Federal Trade Commission can use any metric it deems appropriate to decide what that would mean, which basically says, like, it's not going to be markets, it's not going to be supply and demand that's determining how much your grocery store charges you for milk or for eggs. It's going to be some bureaucrat in DC, which seems like totally unworkable, first of all, for the FTC to be deciding like how much Kroger charges for eggs.
All right, so I'm going to pause it for a quick second because she's about to go into something else. And you're going to see a lot of very similar points around gun control and gun rights and what happens when the market is overridden by the actual government in power. But what you are looking at is you are literally looking at CNN going, yeah, Harris just put out economic policies and it's not really workable. It doesn't have the ability to do anything. In fact, Elizabeth Warren has something out there about those mean corporations and profits. It's not supply and demand and inflation and a mismanagement of the economy that's causing these prices. No, it's corporate greed. Now, again, contrast this with our fight. It's the gun lobby. They're out to put profits over people. It's always these little taglines, right? Watch what happens. And again, correlate this to the gun world because it's going to sound very familiar when she starts talking about eggs.
Michigan, but it also would be very bad for markets. We've seen this kind of thing tried in lots of other countries before. Venezuela, Argentina, the Soviet Union, et cetera. It leads to shortages. It leads to black markets, you know, plenty of uncertainty. And beyond that, the specific way this bill is written might actually increase prices because of some of the other language in it. Things like requiring companies, public companies, to disclose in their quarterly reports, their quarterly earnings reports, how they're setting prices, which is a great way to help them collude, which normally we don't want them to do. So anyway, you know, the devil's in the details, I guess, for that bill, but it's really hard for me to imagine any form of legislation that preserves the spirit of what she's proposing that would not be, you know, at best do nothing, at worst cause a lot of harm.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the big screen for this one. At best, do nothing. At worst, cause a lot of harm. And create black markets. Oops. And create black markets. Okay. Does that sound familiar? Anything? Chicago, guns, all the gun control. People and criminals still do these things. The price goes up for guns. Price gouging happens because the government created an artificial black market. Any of these things correlating? What you are witnessing is the exact overbearing, that's the right word. The overbearing nature of a statist, a communist, a socialist, who is looking to command and control the economy the same way they want to command and control your gun rights. You're going to have the exact same result. The only insert is that it's a different commodity, eggs and bananas. All of this stuff is insane around command and control, which is requiring you not to have gun rights to further their control. I'm trying to draw all of the different lines together. I'm trying to make this map very clear. What you are witnessing is the economic expression of their gun control desires. And even CNN just likened what she just put out, Kamala Harris, to Venezuela, Argentina, and Soviet-style price controls. Those are communistic command and control economies. Everything you need to know is right here. Everything in our fight is directly connected to politics abroad, and that is why I wanted to bring this to you. I'm at Goal, so if you guys see me, make sure you say hey, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.